تاني يا جماعه. النهارده انا يعني السيشن دي بقى انا مش هتكلم خالص يعني كالعاده وهسيب كل الكلام لغاده. هي غاده حموده هي ضيفتي النهارده، وهي الفاير سايد شات دي عنها بس. غاده هتكلمنا على الكارير بتاعتها وازاي ودورها في القلعه حاليا. نورتينا يا غاده.
ميرسي جدا جدا.
طب غاده كلمينا كده ازاي بدأتي ولحد دلوقتي بقى ودورك في القلعه.
Okay, so I'm a graduate of the American University of Cairo. سنة before many of you were born, I have to say للأسف الشديد. So I graduated 84, business administration, mass comm. Decided I'm going to go to the States. I lived there 20 years. I started my family there. I was working mostly in marketing, communications, strategic planning, positioning. And the last 5 years I spent with dot-coms and startups. And it was really talking about the information superhighway في the 90s that became the internet that all of you are working on النهارده بكل different aspects والempowerment that is providing us كلنا giving us new business ideas. I've been in Egypt since 2005. I started with Qalaa Holdings 2008. And the reason I joined this company, my mission has been I want to make a difference, obviously, and I seek في كل حاجة بعملها. So I wanted to work with people that are making a difference في مصر. And people too young, they were not that young when I met them. Entrepreneurs that started in 2004 شركة القلعة, أحمد هيكل وهشام الخزندار. Very well educated, very nationalistic, بيحبوا مصر, عايزين want to make a difference in the country. It was a private equity firm. والفوكس بتاع private equity firm كان mainly على sectors that where they can either do import substitution, they can enter Africa, they can build regional and global brands that are based out of Egypt. So it was amazing inspiration. I mean, solid waste management since past 12 years. من قبل ما قانون المخلفات يطلع زي ما هو it just came now. داخلين في river transportation, which is a very responsible investment. Something that will open the Nile with new vein for trade that will connect Africa before anybody talked about it. They were high risk, took a lot of risks. They focus on energy, infrastructure, gas distribution, a lot of products that I found very interesting or inspiring, and markets that were diverse. So they position themselves as a responsible investor that adds value to the economies and the societies they do business in بطريقة responsible and sustainable. That was unique. And very difficult in our region to find that level of awareness. Part of it was inspired, I have to say, by the fact in إحنا most of the funding for a private equity firm comes from that has all these big ambitions, comes from DFIs, developmental finance institutions, multilaterals, the IFCs, the Proparco, the Ghada, كل الناس اللي هم when they look at investing, expert credit agencies, they are looking at credentials, social credentials, environmental credentials, in addition to economic credentials. They looked at the team and its insight, but they also looked at its responsibility towards the community. And that was very important from the very start in building the DNA of what Qalaa Holdings is and what it stands for. Every project, if we were to parse it down and look at what it is doing, it has been responsible both in terms of its environmental impact, in terms of its social impact, and it is solving a problem Egypt has faced or is facing. Most of the investments were a bet on the fact that there will be a change in the regulations بتاعت subsidies, and that in fact once the subsidies are removed there will be a free market for energy. They made a big investment in a second stage refinery that I talked about earlier in Hammouda for whoever attended before, that in fact brought in over 20 nationalities of coming to put foreign direct investment in Egypt in a project in Mustorud that has not only solved 30 to 40% of Egypt's diesel import challenges, but also is producing a clean Euro 5 product, 2.4 million tons of it, that is cleaning the air from الانبعاثات اللي فيه. It's 180,000 tons of انبعاثات that are being taken in, and you bring in a value add product out of it, naphtha and many others. Environmental credentials were there, economic credentials, solving one of Egypt's problems, created job opportunities, knowledge transfer. It's also responsible in terms of the consumption of the products, resources, natural resources, which is a very big thing right now. How efficient are you in your consumption of water? The water we're taking from Turak al-Ismailia, we're making sure that we have a closed circuit, so we are using the minimum amount possible. The waste, how you getting rid of your waste in a responsible way where it's cleaned and filtered to a way where it's almost as clean as the water we drink, but it's being taken care of في برضه الصرف الصناعي. It's a fully responsible environment. Socially, they're doing 4 pillars. We're working with women empowerment, youth empowerment, a lot of startup projects in the Mustorid area in particular around the project. And nationally doing in 2006 مؤسسة قلعة للمنح الدراسية, Qalaa Holding Scholarship Foundation, which took over 200 men and women, equal, diverse, half men, half women, 15 governors being represented من المنيا في الصعيد لحد القاهرة واسكندرية. They went agnostic about the major to do their masters with the one condition: they come back to work in Egypt. And I'm so proud of some of the people that are here today that actually are alumni scholars that have come and have started their own business and have been contributing to Egypt. أمين أبو دومة عاملة تياترو اسكندرية. عندنا هشام عامل a private equity firm where he's here and I know I saw him on the ground. So working in a place where I found that it reflected values وفي نفس الوقت كمان is leading by example, trying to truly make an impact and a difference, believes in youth, in human capital development, the amount of investment that's being done in training and upskilling, responsible in its behavior within the company, and how in the labor practices we have 25% of women full board, 2 out of 8 board members are women. This is to break the glass ceiling is really critical, and that's before it became required by FRA. Creating the environment where women can in fact go on maternity, come back, work flexible hours before COVID made it necessary. So I think just all in all, it's been quite an interesting journey, an important journey. We're leading the way right now in terms of environmental transition and responsibility, trying to create better awareness of it, trying to promote a responsible product stewardship. And the product itself, الحقيقة, I would like to see in السنة الجاية we don't have any of these single-use products on the tables. This is plastic that's clogging the oceans. And the truth of the matter is I think it's going to become mandatory that we become more responsible for plastic use بتاعنا. I am an advocate of responsible citizenship. كل واحد فينا عليه دور. We have to play responsible, smart, be role models for our children, for people around us. We have to inspire, we have to uplift, and we have to pay forward. I do a lot of mentoring for young women. I had a lot of struggles myself as I was trying to break in the business world, as I was trying to learn. I didn't have a network, I didn't know what to do, and I think I owe it to a lot of the women, the young women that are coming today, to inform, to help, to support, to guide, to open doors, to sponsor when needed. So please, anyone that would like some help or support or have any question, find me. Youth, you are into Busso, and I come here for the energy. The promise, the future. You're defining the kind of world we will be living in. So your hopes and your dreams, we should support in all ways, and I believe the government is doing its part. It's not as visible, but its impact will show. I believe also the private sector has a part to play and a role to play, corporates supporting SMEs and startups. And I believe that each of us in his daily life can make a better difference and a bigger difference in how Egypt can be better. I'm really excited to be among you all, and my daughter is doing gender. She's here actually. She's a gender advocate and consultant. She's coming to attend because we're talking about diversity. I find it inspiring to see young people leading the way and we follow them. And inshallah, we'll see you all in great successes and companies that we can buy from. Thank you.
انا بس قبل ما نقفل السيشن دي، والله انا كان نفسي ادرج، بس بصراحه انت كفرد كل حاجه بس عايز اقول لك يعني ايه نصيحتك للشباب الجديد في في حتتين اللي انت بتحبيهم قوي، اللي هو الدايفرسيتي والسستينابيلتي. احنا يعني انا بصراحه شايف ان الاودينس فيري دايفرس، بس هل انت شايفه ان ده ريفلكتد في البيزنس او في الستارت اب سين؟
I do believe that while أولا the VCs are starting to have women in them, and I'm very happy about that. I mean, there are few, and يعني one can count them on the hand. لسه في مصر, it's an ecosystem that is evolving. The sources of funding for Masr are starting to have more women represented, because I do believe they always say it globally or internationally that men are funded based on their potential, women are funded based on their performance, and I want to see that eliminated and erased. So I think we need to see a little bit a change in the difference in access to funding. I think also there's a confidence issues that we need to work on. I would advise that you need to work on your self-confidence as you are coming up with an idea, articulating it. Tell a story and tell it well, and make sure that you're consistent, you're persistent, and that you understand that failure is only part of this. I fell so many times along the way. I lost my husband and I had to come back on my feet and try to really rebuild, raise my own 3 children لوحدي, and yet maintain my career, yet maintain my status, maintain my information and data. Keep learning. We do not learn in school فقط. This is the old النهارده. Everything is changing so fast. To remain relevant to your customer, to the world, in your profession, just make sure that you're constantly learning and reading and in touch with what's happening. As for sustainability, we have one planet. No one is understanding, or not. We don't have as much understanding in our part of the world as there is in the rest of the world about depletion that's happening in resources, natural resources, about the impact of climate change, and how that, in fact, the pollution that we've created as humanity is taking away from the future generation ability to survive and exist. احنا خلصنا. Biodiversity is like being minimized because of how we are expanding, because we have encroached on forests. حاجة زي COVID ابتدت تيجي. الأمراض دي كلها is happening because of behavior of industries, because of behavior of humanity. So we need to all become very conscious and aware. There are opportunities, amazing opportunities, as supply chains are being redefined, as the localization is happening, to come up with responsible business solutions. With قانون المخلفات on board right now, there are so many opportunities to think of where one can come and add value in a responsible way. So it's so important to take responsibility for the environment and for the society and for making a difference every day in our life. Thank you so much.
شكرا ليكم وشكرا لغادة، يعني تعبناك النهارده معانا.